and welcome to the King's Forum podcast show. We have three special guests with me today, and it's all about Mental Health Week. So I thought I'd get these guys on to talk about kind of, what's the importance of the whole week and the month, and kind of some of the tips that helped them through times that they were struggling. Hi, Char, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you. You?
Yeah, really good. Paige, welcome back. It's been a while. Hi.
Hey, so I had to mute myself, kids in the background. Hello, thanks for having me back. How are you guys?
Really good. Rafa, welcome back.
Mike, thank you for having me again.
Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure, Rafa. Rafa, let me start with you. Talk about the importance of Mental Health Week and what that means to you.
I think this is 2021 is the first year I'm actually going all out in terms of what mental health means to me and the importance of it. I was just speaking with a couple of friends this week, and I believe it's being aware of one the different types of mental health illness that are out there, what we can do to support those who may be experiencing or going through struggles or hard times, and also if it's something that we struggle with ourselves, what to do and how to identify when we're in a rough spot, so that we can come out at the other end, or push through it, push forward.
Yeah, move on.
Exactly.
Paige, what's your thoughts on this week?
You know what? I just think you can't really get a better topic to touch upon. I think personally it should be longer than a week dedicated to it, to be honest. A month or maybe even two. Do you know what I mean? I think every day should be mental health day. I think everyone should be very aware and conscious of not just our own mental health, but the mental health of others around us. So I think it's really important that we focus on it and we can highlight it in any way we can, really.
Cool, thank you. Shah, what's your thoughts on this week?
This week, it's great to see more people talking about mental health awareness. But I do believe personally that this is something that should be spoken about all day, every day. Every day of the year, should I say? Because it is important, and I think it is overlooked quite a lot, especially with men. With women, it seems very acceptable. But yeah, if a man has mental health problems, it looks like they're weak and they're not a good enough person, when actually the reality is just as human as us women. And so it's nice to see men this week speaking out about their mental health. And I think that if somebody does have a mental health problem, we need to support them. We need to check in. We need to say, are you okay? Because a lot of people don't do that. They expect you to sit there and just open up. But sometimes you need that door to open for you by somebody saying, how are you? Do you know what I mean? Are you okay? Personally. But yeah, I mean, it's great seeing people opening up. And I hope that the stigma slowly starts to go and it becomes more and more recognizable, and people will see the actual importance behind it.
Yeah, definitely. And for me, it's just nice for people to be having the conversations. And that, for me, that's the biggest thing. Because when I was struggling, it was all about not feeling like I could open up and tell others and talk about it and express what I was going through. So for me, that's a big thing when I just see kind of it everywhere at the moment. And you're right, it needs to be something we do all the time, because it's a constant battle. Now, whether you got it under control for a moment or what have you, you're going to have your periods of, we're human beings. You're going to have your downs, your ups and downs. It's not going to be a constant, upward trajectory of always feeling great and I'm not feeling down anymore. We have those. It's naturally our moods go up and down. So for me, just having the conversations out there and people being open about it is the biggest thing for me. And the more we do that, the more that will help others want to open up and speak up on what they're going through and not suffer in silence, which for me is the biggest thing. So that's why I wanted to do this, is just have these conversations and more of it, and maybe we can help our friends and or people or viewers or subscribers to open up or tell their friends to about it. And I think that's important, you know.
Yeah.
Rafa, have you got any kind of tips or things that helped you when you felt you were struggling at times? Or
So the first thing, and this is something I was listening to a podcast recently, and it's something so simple, but we sometimes just don't take it into account. And he said, be aware of the things that drain your energy and do less of it. You know, as simple as it sounds. Sometimes you have, I don't know, negative friends. Sometimes you switch on the news, you see only bad stuff happening.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden that takes a toll, or that affects the rest of your day. So I don't really watch the news because there's nothing ever. It's very rare when you see something positive on the news. But you know, sometimes you got friends that are always negative. And in terms of positivity, say you're surrounded by negative people, there is so much content online of motivational speakers, people who constantly speak on motivation. Les Brown, you have Tony Robbins, you have Jim Rohn, you have so many people that have a lot to say. We're not reinventing the wheel, we're only enforcing good habits. So first thing in the morning, just play a 2 minutes or 3 minutes motivational video, get your day started right. Exercise is a massive thing. It doesn't have to be a crazy workout. Even if you do a walk, I'm doing this thing, it's called the 100-day challenge. So I started doing one push-up all the way to 100 in one go. So I'm at 23 at the moment. Whatever it is, anything that gets you that gets you pumped up, anything that gets you motivated, do more of it. Things that drain your energy, do less of it. As crazy as it sounds.
No, I hear that. Paige, any tips?
I think what it is for me, because I'm quite like a bubbly, very hype type person. So a lot of people think, you know, that, sorry, low battery mode, I'm back. Yeah, so I'm quite a bubbly person. I think a lot of people think that they don't really like to check up on as much the ones that are so bubbly and are so loud, because they think, you know, the joke of the group is always, they're always fine, they're always like sort of bounce back quick enough. But I'd say that always checking on your friends and checking on yourself as well. And I think like just it sounds so simple, but people really do underestimate the power of talking and literally getting it off your chest, whether it be to a friend, and sometimes it's easier to talk to a stranger, or even pick up the phone to talk to Samaritans on just a random day you're feeling down, because there are people that want to listen. And I think until you've sort of gotten that off your chest, and it's really true what they say, you know, they say a problem shared is a problem half, because it's not just sitting on your like chest no more, it's not just sitting on your back. You can literally share it and hear advice, and I think things like that really do help specifically mental health, when people are listening and when people are giving advice and suggestions, and just even like if they're not saying anything but just letting me vent and letting me say what I need to say, or letting me talk and get it off my chest without judgment, without passing judgment, and without, you know, any skepticism and anything like that. Just an open ear and an honest open ear to listen to, and somewhere you can feel safe and you're in your safe place. I think that's really important, and I think people need to feel like they can reach out a bit more to other people, and don't feel like you're a burden on people, you know.
Cool. Char, any thoughts?
I think the tips that I use is writing down what I think or feel. Sometimes sitting with myself. So when if I've ever felt low, I'll sit with myself and I'll ask myself, okay, why am I feeling like this? Because sometimes we can say to people, oh, I feel like this, but sometimes we have to also ask ourselves why, what's triggering us to feel the way we're feeling, and then kind of then decide how to move forward, whether it be, do I need to exercise? Some people like to meditate. You know, what is the positive things that I can do to help us? Is it speaking with somebody, whether it be, as you said, a stranger or a friend or a relative? With me, I like listening to music. So when I'm cleaning the house and everything, you know, I'll have the music on loud, and I'll just make sure that it's like upbeat songs, just to kind of keep my eat. So even if it's just for an hour, and I think also, if there's any tips I would give to people that are suffering, is stop being hard on yourself. You're human. You're human. You're okay to not feel okay. But what's not okay is allowing yourself to suffer in silence. If we can spend so much time self-absorbed in how we're feeling low, but let's use a bit of that time, even if it's 20 minutes of that day, talking to somebody or doing something that makes you feel good. That's what I personally believe. But everybody is different. But reaching out to other people definitely is one very important thing. But find the things that can help soothe you a little bit. I said exercise, music, writing, talking, dancing, acting like a big kid. Let the inner kid in you sometimes just come out and just be a big kid for the day, you know? That's all I can say.
Yeah, Char, you touched on a lot of things there. And, you know, when I think about the times I was struggling, I always look at, you know, things that make you happy. Things that are gonna, you know, lift or uplifting, like you said, music and things. Bob Marley for me was my go-to, you know, because it's uplifting music, and you know, it used to take me out of a slump or a bad mood or down times, and talking to others, and it's kind of like, you know, other people are going through this as well. It's not just you, because we can do that, can't we? We can make this like, oh, it's just me and I'm going through this, of course, because you're feeling it. But you know, there are others that can help and support you and have gone through similar things or even worse things than you. So it's nice just to talk and be open and express yourself how you're feeling. And you're right, the key thing, not to suffer in silence and, you know, feel like you have to deal with this yourself. And yeah, don't get me wrong, that's a lot of it's the communities and the environments we've grown up in that we haven't felt like we could, because it was seen as a sign of weakness, or, you know, a sign that we can't cope and we can't deal with things, especially as being a man. We're supposed to be able to deal with this thing. We're supposed to be able to, you know, mental health, you just kind of, exactly my like, I'm thinking of like my father's father and things like that, you know, they're just told to suck it up and deal with it. You just move on. Like, you know, what is mental health? What are you talking about? You know, things happen, you just get on and deal with it. But no, we're human beings and we feel things. So it's about connecting with that and realizing that's, you know, your body telling you, speaking to us, isn't it? That
Yeah.
we need to process that. And it is a lot about being self-aware and definitely being in touch with yourself and knowing yourself.
And I think as well, Paige mentioned it earlier about being bubbly and lively. Also, when you're strong, if there's an expectation from your friends or your family that, oh yeah, she's fine or he's fine, they're strong, they can handle it. I think that's just a bit of ignorance, because it's like, you're not, you know, Iron Man or Iron Woman, you know, you're still human. And I think people need to be aware that actually, hang on a minute, strong people suffer as well. Men suffer, ugly people suffer, you know, quiet people suffer. So, and I think people's character should not be overlooked. It needs to be made clear. It doesn't matter what type of person that you are, how in control you are of yourself. Personality, when it comes to mental health, personality means nothing of how that person looks, or how that, you know, is a, yeah. You're talking to somebody on a regular basis, then they go quiet on you. You know, you might think they might be busy, but if it goes like a whole week, you got to think, hang on a minute, what's going on? Is something wrong? Do you know what I mean? And I think, yeah, it definitely, I think you know, people need to get rid of that stigma that not all strong people can always be strong.
Yeah.
Everybody gets weak at some point in their life. That's my personal belief. So just, yeah, let's just keep supporting ourselves, keep supporting other people, and let's just keep making sure that mental health is at the top priority. Just like, for example, other medical conditions, mental health is a condition. It should be made aware that it is just as important as others.
Yeah, 100%. I agree.
Rafa, anything more to add? Or?
Yeah, I mean, just going from what Charlotte said, I think mental health is one of those things that it doesn't matter what color you are, your social status, where you come from, you know, what culture you're from. Something that the more we talk about it, the more aware people will be, and the more we will encourage people to come and approach us if they're going through anything, any struggles. After the podcast we did with you and Charlotte the other week, I had 3 or 4 different people tell me that they're interested in speaking out and collaborating with you. I was just saying to Charlotte today, and it's because they see that, you know, it's okay to be vulnerable, it's okay to show emotions, and more than anything, it's okay to be human. The more aware that we are, even if we can impact just one person, I think you'll make all the difference. Last time we had a chat, we said it's crazy to think that us men feel that it's easier to end our life than talk about our struggles. You know, that talking about that rate. So, you know, if we can, the more people we reach, the better as a society will be, and worldwide. You never know. We're only 4 people in this post in this call. One day we might be 10, 100, or you know. I think it's great what you're doing, Mike, and
Thank you.
I think it's great to talk about this.
Yeah, I think you just made me realize what we do as human beings. Almost become so disconnected from, you know, our natural kind of being connected with the earth. You know, I was talking to Charlotte earlier about kind of, you know, looking at herbalists and things like that, moving away from, you know, these big pharmaceutical companies that give us all these drugs to pump into us, when all of the things that can heal us are around us naturally. And it's kind of like this concrete jungle we've created that we live in is not a natural habitat for us as human beings. So it's almost like that disconnect isn't helping us. So the environment we built for ourselves, you know, we're not connected to nature, which we need to feel. And
I feel like we're more connected to things than nature nowadays. You know, capitalism is rife right now. You know, I feel like there's a massive disconnect between humans and, you know, the objective of life, money, like power. All these things seem to come to play a lot more now, even down to classism. I feel like it's more rife now than it was back in the day when it was blatantly obvious. You know, there were people that said we need people at the bottom, and I think that there's a lot of people that just need to realize, I think, be kinder. There's not enough kindness in the world, and I think that's the problem. When I've had people say, why do you care if someone got killed, like, you know, in America? And I'm like, well, an injustice overseas is still an injustice to me. I don't see it as them being so far away. To me, they're human. So to me, anywhere in the world there's a major crisis going on, we sort of, you know, oh, it's just dash it away, it's not our problem type thing. And mental health is very similar to that, especially within the UK. We're very hush hush, I think, in Britain about mental health and any kind of touchy topic, and like racism, mental health, we are so quiet about it as a nation because we're afraid to offend people. And in reality, we need to start talking more louder. And the people that feel uncomfortable by these situations, maybe you are the mean person, maybe you have been a bully then, and maybe you need to check yourself and then align your whole attitude and perspective of a situation. So sometimes I think having these uncomfortable conversations that they need to make, not only the people that need to reach out for help, but the people that are causing people to need to reach out for help, I think it makes them take a step back and make them think as well that maybe what I'm doing isn't okay, you know?
Oh, yeah. Be connected to people and what's going on. And I know that social media is funny because you know you have the whole people following the herd. Oh yeah, let me do that, and it makes me question sometimes. Does this person actually think that about what's going on in Palestine, or we just following what's trending at the moment? So sometimes I doubt that. I don't know how authentic it is, and don't get me wrong, it's still doing something, I guess, but I'm still questioning some people. We're so caught up in wanting to feel a part of something and following what everyone else is doing that we lose sight of ourselves and focusing on ourselves. And for me, that's what I've been about, not being connected to nature and things. I think we just become so caught up social media and this for me it doesn't feel real. It's not a real world to me.
No.
Sorry.
Sorry, no, go on. Sorry.
Yeah, I just feel that doesn't help our mental health. it's being in this world of feeling we have to aspire to be something that we don't truly want in ourselves. We're just playing a part almost in like a movie or something. This isn't actually our lives. And yeah, for me, that doesn't help our mental health. And that's why I always try and stay grounded, stay true to my roots and things. I've done a lot of that recently, is looking back my ancestry and speaking to my mom about, you know, kind of my history and things. And all this helps you. You need to feel grounded. You know, you need to know who you are. And that's a great deal for me, for my mental health, has helped me. It's really look within myself and my history and my past and really get connected with that, because for me that's reality and that's being real, and the rest of what's going on in this world at times just feels like it's fake or someone's narrative. This is what they want to spin, the media or what have you, and people are just going along with that, and sometimes you have to stand back. And it's great to have people like you guys. I know Rafa just got to know you and things like that, but having people like Charlotte, you know, keeps me in check. Paige is another one. They keep me in check and this reality and keep you grounded, because it's easy to get caught up in this. You
but
know.
also, I think as well, there's a lot of I've come to realize there are a lot of people out there that are just for themselves, so selfish. You know, they might be supporting something, but actually they're really not supporting it. It's just like, how are you meeting my
100%.
needs? You know what I mean? What happened to actually just being genuine? You
100%.
are genuine people like us, and I'm sure, obviously, plenty of more people out there in the world that are genuine. You know, people that are not used to that, they're like, what's your ulterior motive? And you're just like, hang on a minute, I'm just actually just being genuine. I genuinely care, because it's that so many people are selfish. They just want to know, to see how you can help them. Not actually just, I want to help you. It's nothing about me. I just want to be these ears for you. And actually, how can I help you? And I think another question that I think where we detach ourselves from our own selves and from society is, there's an important question that it put to me by a guru, a man called Deepak Chopra. He's amazing. And he stated very clearly a quote. He said, who are you? Well, sorry, who am I? And ever since I heard that, and I started saying that more and more when I was going through the dark place, like, who am I? Actually, who am I? If I push away being a sister, being a friend, doing this, my job, or whatever it is, actually, who am I?
Yeah.
Am I what parents expect me to be? Am I what my friends expect me to be, or society? No, hang on a minute. Let me just knock that all to one side. Who am I? And that was my healing. That was the start of my healing to getting out of the dark place I was in. So if I do ever fall into a dark place, I know who my support circle is. I ask myself that question over and over again, and I do the things that I enjoy. And I remember what other people, please remember, if you're struggling at any time, whether it be now or in the future, remember it is temporary. And temporary doesn't have an expiry date, okay? If it's just temporary for a year, 6 months, 2 weeks, it is temporary. So please just remember that about yourself, and please be kind to yourself, okay?
Yeah.
So,
thanks for that, Char, and thanks to everyone on this call. Does anyone want to say any last words before we round up here, or?
I just want to really quickly say to the people, I've heard this recently, and I just think it's really, really relevant and really important, and it sounds so simple, but if you see someone or know someone and they seem off to what you're normally off, I will always say to everyone at the minute, ask them twice if they're okay. Because the first time you ask someone if they're okay, it's always a genuine, a general, you know, I'm okay, it's fine, don't worry about it, I'm good. Ask them again straight afterwards, no, are you okay? And then a lot of the time I feel like people then start to sit and think, okay, no, do you know what, they genuinely care, let me actually I'm not okay. So I just want people to just be really aware of the people that are around them, because as much as we, you know, we're doing such an amazing thing like this, talking on a podcast, we can't help people we don't know necessarily, or we're not going to know we're helping people we don't know. We need to start with the people that are right in front of us. There's people that are taking their lives, that are sitting right in front of us, that you see them the night before and you don't even realize how down they actually are. And it's not a bad reflection upon yourself. It's just taking that extra little bit of time to really try and dig, because it's all well and good, you know, posting on Facebook afterwards like I wish I could have spoken to you, but let's try and do that now while we're still here. Like, if you see someone just being a bit off, just please go. If you think you're being annoying, it's fine. I'd rather someone be pushing annoying towards me than feel like I've got no one to turn to, or no one actually genuinely cares about how I feel. So I'm that annoying pushy friend at the minute, where I will say to people 100 times, are you okay? Because I just feel like I'd rather be pushy, like I said, now while you're alive, than be sad and, you know what I mean, reflecting upon it once you're gone. Like that, I think it's just too late then. So I just think we need to be really aware as much as we can be, really, of the ones that are in front of us and the ones that are around us, because like Char said and like everyone said, it is the strongest people sometimes that don't get enough attention, because everyone just thinks you're such a strong person. But like she said, like, it's not dependent on personality. It's not a reflection of who you are, how strong you are as a person. Depression will get us all, and mental health can attack us all, like, and no one can be strong enough against that. So I just think, yeah, just keep asking everyone if they're okay, just being aware, basically.
Cool. 100%. 100%. Anyone else with any last words before I wrap up?
Just to wrap up, I mean, I think it's yes, we can be strong, and it's good to know that it's good to acknowledge the journey that we've come from, you know, where we're not the same person we were a year ago. And I think as people, like Charlotte said, be kind to yourself. You know, I struggle to understand what it means to be kind to yourself. I remember Charlotte has said it to me in the past, and she said, "Be kind to yourself." And I kept thinking, what does she mean, be kind to yourself? How can I be kind to myself? And it's just acknowledge the fact that you're not perfect, but you are in this world to do positive things. You are going to go through hard times, and it's okay. And it's okay not to be okay. I can resonate with that phrase so much. It's okay not to be okay, but also to understand that it's only up to you to pick yourself up, and you have people around you. It's great, but you may not always have people around you. So, you know, try and seek for that change. Anyone who watches this, you know, that you have great people here, Mike, Charlotte, Paige. You reach out, any of us, and if there's anything at all that you want to say, please, you know, we're here to help.
Yeah, 100%.
There is no remote.
100%. We're here.
100%.
Yeah, thank you, Mike, for putting this together.
Yeah, thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for jumping on this. Our DMs
Sorry,
are
I've been a bit hectic.
open. Oh, don't worry about that. It adds to it all.
It's very true. It's very true. So we're dealing with a lot.
It just shows how you cope. You know,
exactly.
Page, that you could balance it all, you know, and still be on a podcast as well.
I know. Gotta get it done.
Yeah, reach out to any of us. What our DMs are open if you want to chat.
100%.
The biggest thing I would say is just speak to someone. It starts. There's a place to start. Just having a conversation, you know, and then the rest will follow. But that's the biggest hurdle. That was for me anyway. Speaking from personal experience, was actually opening up and talking to someone and telling them.
Yeah,
You know,
agreed.
You know, and that's what I will say. Which helped a big deal, and it felt like a massive weight off my shoulders once I actually said how I was feeling. And
100%.
And I noticed the panic attacks and the anxiety settled. You know, it was a lot less after I did that initial hurdle. Getting over that and having a conversation. I will say that as a first step. You know, we can't do it all, but as a first thing, you know, you take baby steps. It's a process.
Yeah.
So we start one place, and that's where I started, and that was the biggest help for me. You know, once I actually mentioned to my brother, who's a psychologist, I actually said, "Look, I'm struggling right now," and he was like, "Yeah, what was going on?" We're going through this, and as soon as it was a massive weight off my shoulders. You know, that's what I would say. Just start with one thing.
Yeah.
The rest will follow.
Yeah, 100%. And also, just lastly, I just want to say as well, we really need to stop caring about what other people think. Like, sometimes I think we think so much of what people think of us or how we're gonna listen. F other people. That you come into this earth alone, you will really go on your own. And I think these people don't pay your bills. If they're not paying your bills and they're not in your house and looking after your kids, not helping you in any kind of way, their opinion is so irrelevant, and you cannot let that pull you down and dim your shine. Like, I got told for so many years I'm too loud, I talk too much, and then here, look now, like, I'm on podcast using my loud talkative voice because, you know, I've decided finally to not let people treat me or make me feel to type of way. So yeah, I just think we need to stop caring what people think about us so much and just literally live your best lives.
100%. Charlotte, did you want to say something?
Just quickly, yeah. Raf, when I say be kind to yourself, it's basically give yourself a break. So when you're having a bit of a stressful day, just give yourself a break. Just say, you know what, I'm not even going to think about this for a little while. I'm going to treat myself, whether it be sitting there eating a tub of ice cream, whether it be going for a walk. Just do something that's kind to you. Be kind to you. That's what it is. Anything, just give yourself a break. That's all it is. And to anybody that is new to watching this podcast, please, you can find me on Instagram. It's Charlotte Nero, Nero 60. You can DM me, and just so you know, it is a safe space. Anything we talk about, it is confidential and it will not go anywhere. And please just be yourself, and you can message me at any time.
Cool.
Other than that,
thank you, guys. I'll put all your details in the description anyway.
Thank you.
To get a hold of us if they need to.
thank you.
Guys, thank you very much again. And
thank you so much.
Always a pleasure. And hopefully this video helps others. I'm sure it will, because, you know, it is about the conversation and, you know, learning from our experiences and helping others and spreading awareness.
Yeah.
So yeah, Mental Health Awareness Week, and like you said, it's the conversations that need to be happening a lot more regular than just a month or a week. We need to be having these open, honest conversations, you know, on a weekly basis, on a daily basis with loved ones or friends, just to be talking about it, and you know, and it will help us. It goes a great deal into, you know, making our lives, you know, the way we want them to be. We should be enjoying them. We should be joyful and happy, but we're humans as well. So we have ups and downs. So it's natural. And we, you know, it's understanding that and be kind to yourself. Yeah.
That's be kind to yourself.
That's how we're gonna end it.
Be kind to yourself, guys.
Kind to yourself, guys.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye. Bye.